Welcome, friends, to another episode of Schnozzcast. This is Bob, joined by my indomitable co-hosts, Cory and Nick. And tonight, what are we going to get for you today? We're going to give you a little booze news, a little TT's, TikToks, a abbreviated gentleman's agreement, an existential question of the week, and a pick of the week to round it off. Fellas, Cory, how are you?
Oh, hey.
Is that your, I'm a married man now, I need to sort of
post-wedding
calm down.
Tame it down.
Yeah, I'm an adult now.
I can't be a wild stallion
I'm
anymore.
responsible for another person's happiness, and I have to present as such.
A little more professional.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's what you're going to expect to see on the Schnozzcast every week from now on. Professional Cory. Nick, how are you?
Good evening. I am fantastic. How are you?
I'm good, sir.
I just noticed I got Yooper on my cup here.
You just noticed a sticker that you put on your own cup?
It's usually where my hand is.
Okay.
But, yeah, it's kind of nice because it holds true because you're going to be a prospective Yooper in the next week.
I am. Go to a little vacation with Lori.
A lot of pasties.
Pretty sure in order to be a Yooper, you have to live up there.
Well,
yeah.
Going for 5 days.
There's also a particular patois that I'd have to have if I was a Yooper.
He might reconsider the 8-hour drive back with Lori, and he just might stay, so...
Oh, and send her. You go home. I'm never coming back.
Take the Jeep.
Nick, I say we set up some sort of car accident on the bridge that day.
On the Zilwaukee?
And
dude!
Make them stuck for another 6 hours.
This reminds me of the accident I was in 1995.
Not only was there a 2-car pileup, someone jumped off the bridge.
Yeah. I'm gonna send Lori facts of the state of Michigan when they leave that day.
Dude, if you want to open that fucking Pandora's box, you have at it, my man, because that is going to unleash a torrent of texts, the likes of which you've never had to deal with. Maybe even a phone call.
Yeah, no.
I got your texts. Sorry, I don't know if that's my Lori or not, but I just went with a standard high chick voice.
It's very raspy.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I think we need to come up with some topics of conversation for that drive.
Yes, to help you guys out.
Ooh, hold on. What makes you think that drive is going to be devoid of conversation?
When was gingham invented?
What is gingham? I don't even know what it is.
Why was it
I buy it by the ream.
No, I want to see if you're able to pick up on what topics we gave her
versus the one she came up on her
the
own.
ones that she just comes up with on her own.
Yeah, 100% I can.
That'd be
She's got a well of material that she draws from, which is it's deep enough to last an entire 4.5 hour drive.
Oh
no, 6 hour drive.
No, that's
6 hour
to the UP.
Sorry, you said 400 and some odd miles
to Lake Superior, not like the bridge. I just looked it up today. It said fastest route 6 hours 2 minutes.
6 hours.
I'm like, dude, it takes 4 hours from Brownstown to get to my cabin, which is 200 miles, about 198 miles.
Yeah.
The UP, he's going 416 miles, and it's telling him 6 hours 2 minutes. I'm like,
yeah.
Theoretically, that should be an 8 hour trip.
I was gonna say it should. Yeah. From what I've heard, it's usually been an 8 hour trip.
It's going to be a long drive.
From what I remember, it was an 8 hour trip, and sometimes 10 if you stop.
So, back to the original. What makes you think that she's
going to
need some shit to talk about?
I know she does.
She will not.
Okay.
She will absolutely not.
All right.
It'd be like someone sending me stuff. I'd be like, ha, okay.
But you're saying like, oh, let's play a little game. I'm going to feed Lori some subjects of conversation and see if Bob can determine which ones came from you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I could
but here's
the
thing. I know she's big on ancient history, so I could be like, when were the Valley of the Pharaohs discovered? And you could be like, is this from Nick Bader or is this from Miss Clark?
Well, first of all, she would never just ask me a random like.
But she's going to be prepared if we tell her it's a game.
Speaking of that jerky billboard, do you happen to know anything about the pharaohs of ancient Egypt? It's not going to come out of nowhere like that.
Well, it's going to on this
trip. And if it does, it's coming from you guys. It's going to be easy to spot.
But you don't know because she could have her own list. This might be a fun game for her. She's either going to be like, no, I don't need assistance. I know exactly what to talk about. Or she's going to be like.
I think it's more like.
Or she's going to be like, I think this is a great idea.
I would say I think if we actually clue her in and let her know.
Yeah, we have to tell her.
Right.
that it's a game.
Do your worst, guys. I really feel confident in this one. I feel like I'm going to be able to spot it just like that.
Set up the GoPro, dash cam style, facing on the inside of the car.
I mean, if that's what you want,
Bob gets it right. Bing, 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 bing. Kind of like
I'm more than willing.
Kind of like
to
carpool
use my
karaoke.
vehicle. Yeah, exactly like carpool karaoke. All right. While Corey's monkeying around with his headset, we're going to do a little housekeeping. So if you are joining us this week for the first time, thank you so much. Hope that you like the content. If you do, please stick with us. We release new episodes every Friday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. You can find those episodes out on the streaming platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Audible, Pandora, or you fucking name it. Anywhere else where you might possibly be able to find a podcast. If there's a particular application you use to get to podcasts, odds are we're there. You can also follow us out on social media. Run back, Corey. I'll talk slow. You can follow us on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, and on YouTube, all at Schnozzcast. That's SCHNOZZ cast. I don't know why I'm spelling it. You're already here listening or watching, and that means you knew how to find us anyway, so you got it. If you decide that you're of an old school and you're like, email's my thing, you can email us at schnozzcast@gmail.com. Otherwise, for those 1 a.m., like, I got to be in my bonnet, I want to talk to those Schnozzcast folks, you can either call or text us at 618-SHOCKER.
618-SHOCKER, the Shocker line, 618-746-2537.
I don't know that we've ever actually spelled that out before, so that's really good that we did, at least once.
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah. We've also never spelled shocker for anyone when we've referenced the shocker line. Maybe people were like, I don't know how to spell shocker, so I can't call them.
Is it a SCHOCKER? No.
Maybe some people think it's SCAHHHKER. Shocker.
Und ist ein Umlaut?
Un accent aigu.
You know, I was listening to Schnozzcast until that point they made fun of the umlaut, and I stopped.
Laura was telling me last night about her dad, because her parents are coming into town, and that she's told her dad that we have a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And he keeps asking. Every time it comes up, he's like, so what's the name of that podcast again they got? And I'm like, oh, you mean the Schnozzcast? Whatever name it is that old people, and I should say older than me.
Those are old people.
Very old. very near death.
Yeah. Hospice folk.
They've decided before they die they want to see what a podcast is. They can't figure out Schnozzcast.
Is that one of those things you listen to music on?
One of them their Zunes that Microsoft used to sell?
Y'all have one of those iPodcasts, right? Yeah, no, but I get it. Trust me, we've heard Schnozzcast, Schnoozcast, the Snoozecast, Schnipplecast.
Yep.
And the list goes on.
It does.
We've also had you do what?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, they don't even know what a podcast is.
Yeah.
Which, it's difficult to imagine in 2022 people not knowing what a podcast is.
In Indian Don's defense.
Oh, are you guys like Joe Rogan? We get that too. Like, not even close.
I love that one because I go, yes, we're exactly like Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
I'll say, if anything, a little better.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just haven't been discovered yet.
That is true. I'll get on board with that.
Corey, I don't know if you noticed that I've now color-coded the mics to the mixer.
I see.
Yeah.
Fancy little rings you got there.
Yes, sir. What's that?
Oh, it's down here. Never mind.
Were you about to
where's
my
is
motherfucker?
mine? Oh, there it is.
I got you covered, man.
Yeah.
Yep. An inexpensive way to make us look a little bit more professional.
Yep.
Whatever we can do, right?
Well, I don't know how much more professional it makes us look on camera. I think it would be better to explain what they do.
Oh, just literally just color coding the mic connections to the connections of those same cables.
So
to
when
the mixer.
we take everything apart, we know which.
It's the idea is it's a little bit easier to reconnect everything.
Correct.
When we have to cart it from Nick's house to mine or up north or wherever we go.
So it's very the mnemonics you can use that will always help you remember. Blues Clues for Nick, Blues Clues, Green with MB for Bob, Green with Envy, and Orange You Glad I'm Here for Cory. And that's, if you just remember those simple tools, if you ever have to help us break down or re-put back together the podcast, you'll know exactly where they go.
Cory, you know my memory. Or lack thereof.
Hence why you bought these.
Yeah.
Bob's going to be putting everything back together.
However,
that fucking asshole.
For some things, I have a
glad I'm
pretty
here?
strong memory. And a lot of times, those things that I have no business remembering are the ones that I remember the longest. And that's just how the brain works. So what he just said, as asinine as it sounds, and as ridiculous, it's probably something that if you were to quiz me on that a couple weeks ago, I'd be able to tell you what he said. Because it means nothing. It makes no sense. It's not something I need to remember.
It's not an important
I'm
date.
trying immediately to forget it. But if you ask me in a couple of weeks, odds are I'll be able to pull it up just like that.
Yeah. Well, we'll think about that.
Yeah.
And we'll test you.
I love being the guinea pig of the podcast.
Out of all the goddamn things he can remember.
Yeah, that's the one. Right. All right. How about a little booze news, Cory?
And now it's time for booze news.
Nick, you want to start it off?
I can. So, in light of Bob's extravagant adventure that he's going to be partaking with Captain Coppertop, I've got 16.
Wait, what?
16 famous or notable people born in Michigan's Upper Peninsula.
Okay.
All right. Starting off, it says the talent of Michigan comes from all over the state. Michigan is definitely a great place to look if you're seeking talent of any type. This state has produced movie stars, politicians, scientists, athletes, coaches, tech moguls, and so many more. With all the talent, sometimes you have to narrow down the search. For this group of notable people and celebrities, we focus on those born in Michigan's UP or the Yoopers. And the Upper Peninsula has produced quite a few sports stars for the world to see, from coaches to extreme athletes. There's a little bit of everything. The infamous Tom Izzo, Bastion Booger, and
You just made that up.
I swear to God, it's in there. And ultra runner Pam Reed, just to name a few. Don't write them down because I know you'll remember those. The Upper Peninsula is also responsible for some great scientific minds as well. Clarence Kelly Johnson from the Ishpeming made huge contributions to the designs of Lockheed U-2 and SR-71 Blackbird. I know you know what those are. We also have Nobel Prize winning chemists on the list as well. When you take time to check out all these talent that has come from this great state of Michigan, specifically in the Upper Peninsula, it's pretty awesome to be a Michigander. Earlier last year, we spent some time finding famous celebrities from Flint, and we were blown away by all the people that came from there that were not in jail. Today, I decided to research the Upper Peninsula and was not disappointed. I look forward to researching more cities throughout Michigan, and who knows where we're going to come up with. So now, number 1, Robert J. Flaherty.
Oh, yes.
Good old Rob Flaherty. He was from Iron Mountain, Michigan, directed and produced documentary Nanook from the North in 1922. George Gipp. George, off to a great start, I know.
One for the Gipper. Absolutely.
George Gipp was immortalized with the win just for the Gipper. Win one just for the Gipper speech. That was the first All-American football player at Notre Dame. Gipp was born in Lariam, Michigan. We got Crystal Hayes. Hayes was Miss Michigan in 2005 and went on to place in the top 15 in Miss USA. Hayes went on to found Trinity Entertainment LLC and has guest starred on several different shows in Hollywood. She was born in Rock, Michigan. Tom Izzo, born in Iron Mountain, Michigan. Pretty cold up there. The infamous Tom Izzo went on to coach basketball at Michigan State University. Clarence L. Kelly Johnson. Johnson was born in Ishpeming and became an aeronautical and systems engineer. He made notable contributions to designs of aircraft such as Lockheed U-2 and SR-71 Blackbird. John Edward Lautner. Lautner was an architect who designs influenced movie productions such as Iron Man, Pulp Fiction, and more. Some of the actual buildings and homes and designs can be seen in The Big Lebowski.
What's that?
Lethal Weapon 2, James Bond films, Diamonds Are Forever, and more. Lautner was born in Marquette. Actually, I don't know if there's any relation, but Taylor Lautner is also from Michigan. I don't know if it's the UP or any relation to this guy, but it would make sense. Steve Marici.
Graduated from high school with him.
Yeah. Marici
Itchy Marici.
was born in Iron Mountain, Michigan, former head coach of both the Detroit Lions and San Francisco 49ers. Terry O'Quinn.
Oh, Lost fame. Yep.
Terry O'Quinn is a very accomplished actor and known from many as John Locke from the TV hit series Lost. O'Quinn was born in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. Pam Reed. Reed is an ultra runner and was the first woman to become an overall winner of the Badwater Ultra Marathon and is the current female American record holder in a 6-day marathons, having completed 490 miles in the Self-Transcendence 6 to 10 and 8-day race. She was born in Palmer, Michigan. Jean Ronzani. Ronzani was born in Iron Mountain again. Iron Mountain's a popular town for being in the middle of fucking nowhere.
A lot of people fucking in Iron Mountain.
I guess. And was the head coach of Green Bay Packers from 1950 to 1953. Rob Rubick. Rubick is from Newberry, Michigan, current Fox Sports Detroit's analyst. Rubick was also a tight end for the Detroit Lions. Glenn T. Seaborg. Seaborg was born in Ishpeming and is a Nobel Prize-winning chemist. Mike Shaw. Shaw was a professional wrestler from Scandia, Michigan, during his career, and he wrestled under the names of Norman the Lunatic and the Boston Booger.
Norman the Lunatic.
Sebastian Booger.
That is an amazing, amazing name.
Lou Thiaz, born in Banat, Michigan.
Bless you.
That one's made up.
Yeah.
They're all names are made up.
Thesz.
Question.
And was the end, yeah.
Are we going to talk about every single human being that was born in
This is only 16 people.
Okay. This feels like we're in the 40s.
56 people right now.
And was an NWA World Heavyweight Champion and was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2016. James Tolkien.
Have yet to recognize any name you've said either.
Oh, come on.
Tom Izzo?
Oh,
guy-
Tom is.
the
I
guy
think
from
I was gonna-
Lost?
Okay, gotcha.
Come on, John Locke.
Oh, he hated Lost.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
that's a
true.
piece of shit show. So
Yeah.
James Tolkien, Mr. Strickland from the Back to the Future franchise.
Oh, Mr. Strickland.
Tolkien was born in
He was also in Top Gun.
Strickland was born in Calumet, Michigan, which is very close to Calumet, Wisconsin. Which
Are you saying Calumet?
yeah, I'll say Calumet.
Sure.
All right.
And which is in Wisconsin. Calumet, Wisconsin was where they made the Making a Murderer or whatever.
Okay.
That documentary. Nick Baumgardner is from Iron River, an Olympic gold medalist, mixed snowboard cross at the 2022 Olympics in Beijing. And those are the 16 famous people from
I
the
can't wait to go
Upper
back and
Peninsula.
listen to this because I feel like there were more than 16 names that you read.
No, there were only 16. That was it.
That was a very fucking long list of
the entire town of Ishpeming, Michigan.
everyone and their mom from Iron Mountain.
I was just going to say that could have been the most famous people from Iron Mountain.
It might as well have been. All right. I got a couple here for you. The first one is from Atlas Obscura from Chicago, Illinois. Some people post handmade signs to remind dog owners to be mindful of where their pets do their business. But one Chicago artist said, I'm going to make my statement with a permanent bronze sculpture, known quite simply as Shit Fountain.
I can get along with that.
Artist Jersey S. Kennar installed a public poop as a winking tribute to all the dogs in the neighborhood who are known to trample and defecate upon his flowers. The metal sculpture sits atop a 3-foot sandstone pedestal like a classical Grecian bust and slowly dribbles water into a shallow basin. And it literally looks like a pile of dog shit.
Nice.
While the piece may seem disgusting or in poor taste, it has garnered almost no outcry from the community, who seem to truly enjoy the whimsical statement. Their point of view is, this is whimsical. Good on you.
I would like one in my front yard.
Mm-hmm. Technically, it sits on Keener's private property, so the city is not concerned either. And surprisingly, Keener is mainly known as a religious and political artist who, having designed a number of pieces of church architecture and public pieces, such as a tribute to Black History Month. Unsurprisingly, the neighborhood dogs do not know about his larger artistic career, but they undoubtedly know and appreciate his fountain.
Stupid dogs.
It is a sight to behold as well. It sits on this marble square in which they've literally carved the words "shit fountain," and it is a glorious bronze, brownish, circular
Piece of shit.
There might as well be steam coming off of it, but there is in fact water that dribbles out of it.
Now, hang on. Are the dogs able to drink from this?
Technically, they could.
Obviously, because that'd be pretty awesome to make it not only a kind of a fountain to look at and admire, but also make it functional for the dogs that are in the area. Come up, and take a drink out of the shit fountain.
I think it's unlike drinking out of a hose or a spigot, where this water is just the same water, just constantly recirculated throughout there. So I don't know if I'd let my dog drink that water. I guess if I hated my dog, I'd be like, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, it's going to do worse outside when they're alone anyways.
I suppose. It's an interesting question. I'm not sure if anyone has thought about that.
Damn it.
But it's both a tribute to doggy defecation and a reminder to pick it up. And the second article I've got here is just a really quick one. It's actually for Nick, who won't hear this until he listens back to the episode, which he never, ever will. But in case you're interested, there's a blogspot.com blog called the International Breakfast Project. And it's kind of a cool thing where in this blog, they've talked for, a couple of years. And it's an older site about each country in the world and what they would normally have for breakfast. And so they blog about it, and they try to kind of break down the meal they would have. Like, for example, in Ecuador, what they generally have is something called quimbalitos and coffee. So they give a little brief history of where Ecuador is and some of the cuisine that are there, and they try to recreate this dish. So they get into what the ingredients are, how they made it, how it came out, what they thought about it, and a little bit of discussion in the end. So if you're any kind of a chef or a budding, consider yourself a good cook, and are interested in this kind of thing, want to know what do they eat for breakfast in various countries in the world, Google the International Breakfast Project.
I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast.
Wow.
You
That
eat
would've gone
pieces
well.
of shit for breakfast?
With the shit fountain.
That would have gone well with the previous Booze News article, but and that's what we've got for Booze News.
All right.
And by the time this airs, just to say a quick happy Father's Day, which will be on Sunday the 19th, to all the fathers out there. And in your honor, we're going to do a shot.
All right, so we're going to go around the table real quick since
Yeah.
we don't have to reach across the Rocky Mountains to our friend in Seattle and hear that 120 minutes of what you're drinking. But so I'm doing a Labatt Blue tonight. Bob, what are you doing?
Maggie's Irish Ale from Saugatuck.
Saugatuck Brewing Company. Corey?
I actually switched it up.
Okay.
Still Bud Light, but they came out with a new seltzer called Cocktail Hour.
Ooh.
And there's like a watermelon mojito, strawberry daiquiri, lime margarita.
The sound you're hearing is a lot of pussies getting wet over the internet all across the world today.
There are so many
With the
snail
news you
trails.
just dropped on them.
So many snail trails going on right
Did
now.
he say cocktail hour?
I thought it was because of me.
And
Well,
this-
wetter than they would normally get.
All right, fair enough.
Mr. Selesky did bring quite the menagerie, I guess, of different kinds of little shooters. We're going to try and do what we have, which is a little bit colder right now. But Bob and I got some Old Smoky, and it's peanut butter.
Are we all doing it?
Yep.
Corey's got it too?
Yep.
Okay.
I figured peanut butter's up his alley, so.
There you go. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Ooh.
That's definitely peanut butter.
Dude, that's...
I will say that. That's better peanut butter than
I almost like that better than...
the Revelstoke?
nope.
No.
Screwball?
Yeah,
Screwball.
I almost like it better than Screwball. And
Yeah,
it's
it's-
like $19, and Screwball's like $30.
It's almost got a chocolatey peanut butter
It's
finish
pretty.
to
It's
it.
pretty smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad.
I might be a big fan.
Well done, sir.
We'll see what we do in the next shot.
Yeah, really. When we're heaving up peanut butter.
Ooh.
Oh, it was so good when it was going down.
I had some plans on tomorrow on Sunday for Father's Day with Jack. My daughter's out of town for a couple of weeks.
Who's Jack?
Jack is my son.
Okay.
Thanks. For you to do the podcast, I have two children. One of them is available to do something with me on Father's Day. However,
The other one fled the town.
she's working one of her summer gigs for 2 weeks up north. I assume I'll get a phone call at least. I better get a fucking phone call.
At least, yeah.
So I'm like, hey, I happened to see this literally a week ago, and it was great timing because I'm like, holy shit, The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing, which I think I may have assigned to one of you guys to watch.
Wasn't me.
Maybe it was Cory, or it could have been Greg.
Or Todd.
It's hitting its 40th anniversary this year, and as they do with a lot of older movies, they're replaying it in theaters. They're re-releasing it. You can see it on the big screen. So there's a website called Fathom Events, Fathom, Fathom Events, that does a lot of older movies hitting the theaters again. And you can plug in your zip code and figure out what theaters around your house they're playing, what times.
Oh, so
and buy
like
tickets directly through the website.
So it'll showcase where it's playing.
Absolutely,
That's
yeah.
cool.
And so I'm like, that's what I want. I don't know what you were going to do for me for Father's Day, but that's what I want. I want you to come with me to see The Thing. It's one of my favorite movies. I've never seen it on the big screen. It's obviously 40 years old. And he's like, yeah, 100%. Dad, I am there. We're going to do this. That's a great idea. I would love to go with you. And Lori's like, hey, might have company? I'm like, no, come along. It's playing at like 3 o'clock and 7 o'clock at the local cinema. So let's do it. Mm-hmm. And then I got assigned 2 migration cutover events for Sunday that both start at 10 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking my entire Father's Day weekend. And so now I'm playing it by ear, and I don't know what we're going to do, but like that's what my plans were for the day. And if I get lucky and there are no issues and everything finishes all right, I might be able to make the 7 o'clock show. The
good point as a takeaway is that it's not the actual date, but what that date represents, and it can be celebrated in the next coming days when you get done with whatever you need to do.
That is 100% true, and that's the only thing that kind of makes me feel okay about it.
Yeah. I don't see you as a guy that's like, well, it's not on Father's Day.
No.
I think you just want to be there with your son.
Yeah, and he will be, he doesn't have to work tomorrow, so we'll spend some time together, but yeah, you're right. It's the time. It's not the date. I'm not worried about that.
Can we get, and I know we didn't talk about this outside the podcast, and we were supposed to have a 15-minute podcast meeting this week, and we never got around to it.
Yeah, my bad, guys.
No, it's mine because you said Nick sent something
you're
out,
right.
and I was supposed to.
Fucking asshole.
I know. But something that I wanted to bring up, if it is showcased at all, or maybe it's just laying somewhere, where is the Phil Anton Angel picture as we speak?
It's in my house.
Well, I assumed that.
Okay. What more information do you want?
Well, you said I've got a perfect spot for it.
Bob actually took the TV out of his bedroom, hung that picture right there.
No, it's hanging. It's hanging.
Little art spotlights going with brass.
He just stares at it every night.
It's hanging on the wall in my spare bedroom.
The spare bedroom.
So it's not up yet, is it? Really?
No, it is. It's hanging on the wall in my spare bedroom. So when
there happened to be a nail in there,
when Lori and her son come over to spend the night, hang out, watch movies, and then he sleeps in that spare bedroom. So
he's got to be terrified. Looking at that pixelated angel in a red frame.
He hasn't spent the night yet, so I'm still waiting for the inaugural. What is that? And can you take that down?
Hey, Griffin. Just in case you were thinking about touching yourself tonight.
Yeah. And I left the red frame for you and your mom.
God's watching.
Yeah. The angels are watching. And hey, just to finish the thing I was talking about earlier with Fathom Events, if you go to fathomevents.com, they'll list a whole bunch of other movies that they have that they're showing from now through like probably the end of the year, and they include such flicks as Fifth Element. There's a bunch of manga stuff that's there. Men in Black, Cabaret.
Fuck Will Smith.
Hey, can we talk about that for a second?
Seriously.
Madam Butterfly, Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan is playing. Poltergeist, Howl's Moving Castle. There's a Johnny Cash documentary flick that's airing there in the heat of the night, which is, I think, also hitting its like 50th anniversary. Spirited Away. It's a Wonderful Life. There's a lot of shit. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit different, like I want to go see a movie, but I don't like any of the dog shit that's coming, mainstream down the pike these days, take a look at Fathom Events. Sorry, we were talking about dog shit.
No, we moved past that.
Did we? All right.
We did.
Should we go on then to existential question?
We can.
All right, let's do that. Existential question of the week.
All right, so for this week's installment, or this edition's installment of Nick's Existential Question of the Week, we're going to have a twofer since we are down one co-host this week, and they're pretty simple questions. Thankfully, we'll have much more time for not asking follow-up questions.
Yeah, I apologize. We really didn't say, but we've got Todd Dillon out on special assignment this week. So our thoughts are always with him and Mary and the time they're going to spend together.
Yep.
I look forward to seeing him next episode.
Doing a little investigative journalism for us. Man on the streets. This week's installment, so it's twofold, as I said. So the two questions are this. So we'll start with the first one, which is a little bit more macabre, and we'll end with, I guess, a more positive one, if you were to compare. So the first one. Yes, Bob.
No, go ahead. I would have flip-flopped that, but
No.
It's your segment, dude.
I mean, I didn't want to be down and out the whole night, so...
Well, that might be where the comedy comes from.
So the first question, if you had to name the most terrifying moment of your life thus far, what would it be and why? So we'll go around and do that one.
Terrifying.
The most terrifying moment of your life.
Okay.
Does anybody have anything right away?
I have something that occurs to me right off the top of my head. I'm just trying to, as if I were on the brink of death, flash through my life and make sure there wasn't another one that was even more terrifying than that.
Okay.
So you want me to jump in right now?
Sure, yeah.
If I come up with something better later, I can amend that. But
yeah, you can kick it out of the way.
Okay. Most terrifying moment of my life was probably the moment where my dad used to be the head football coach for Birmingham Seaholm, and his brother Bill Rankin was the head football coach for Birmingham Groves. And during that time when I was a kid, they made the papers all the time for being this sort of brother against brother rivalry across town. And, God rests their souls. Both of them, they've both passed. And I love my Uncle Bill, but I think I could say that my dad got the best of him most of the time. But while he was coaching the team, he would have, during the summer, they would have, football camp. And they'd run miles together. They'd go through drills and whatnot, and they'd also spend time in the pool. And I would, as a little kid, go with my dad on those trips and run with the team and do everything with the team except for hitting. When they finally put pads on. But there was a time where they were doing drills in the pool. And I feel like I've talked about this before, but in case I haven't.
I think you did, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
At least with me.
I jumped in the pool, and there was a kid who was on the team who might have been a freshman, whatever, and he couldn't swim very well, and he grabbed me, and as all drowning people or people who don't assume know, he tried to climb up me, push me down to push him up, and I found myself under the water, and I don't know how long I was there. My dad was doing coach-type stuff, and I don't think he was in the pool at the time, but there was a assistant coach who was there who jumped in to save me. But I remember that feeling that I was going to die and I was going to drown, and I could not get to the air. And that's probably the most terrified I've ever been.
Explains a lot, Nick.
Yeah.
Explains a lot.
Yeah.
We've noticed you just really don't like being in open water.
Yeah, you're not a swimmer. When we go on vacation, we're like, we're always like seals, and Bob's always like, I'll stay on the boat.
I don't know if that has anything to do with it, or
could be subconscious.
I'm currently 52, so maybe my age has something to do with it. I don't know. It could be that I've decided, fuck that water. I'd rather sit here and drink. Don't know.
It could be.
Yeah, you guys could be onto something. I don't. It would take a visit to a therapist to
Say,
probably get to the bottom of it.
I think for me that unlocked it. I think that's what. Yeah.
You've come to no therapy needed. I have solved this mystery.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I saved Joe on vacation. I could save you, buddy. So I actually
you saved the clog, not Joe.
Well, at the time, I thought I was saving Joe because he said I can't swim and I'm going down. And then when I got there, he's like, I can touch now. Just get my shoe. So that's what it turned into, a recovery mission at that point. But so I do have one. I'm sure there are others that are more haunting, but I'll go with a more lighthearted one that was certainly terrifying at the time. I was younger, and my dad took us on a cruise to Alaska. Few things that I don't like are heights, and my biggest fear is
gophers,
shipwrecked.
Okay.
I feel a little bit better going to somewhere like Alaska, not tropical, because I would just instantly die of hypothermia.
Mm-hmm.
but it's still, the idea of the ship going down or something. You see all these videos, and that wasn't even it. So it was kind of a culmination.
That wasn't even it.
It wasn't.
What I've just taken time to describe to you, that was not it.
That's
let
the
me go
setup.
into the real.
That's the setup.
I told you that story to tell you this one.
Yeah. So if it wasn't bad enough, young going on a cruise ship in open water and dying in open water is like one of your biggest fears. Let's throw some heights into there. So my dad decided to
falling out of an airplane into a large open body.
Exactly.
Of water.
My dad not even that. My dad said, let's go smaller. So he said, let's charter a helicopter that's just going to take you, me, and your brother up the face of a glacier.
Oh, where's Todd Dillon when you need him right now?
Up the face of a glacier. And then we're going to dog sled on top of this glacier, which has these crevasses that people just, there's been all these countless cases, specifically in the spot we went to like weeks before. There was a kid with a Walkman on that was listening to music, and his parents turned around and he was gone. And they literally saw the Walkman dangling down a crevasse, and he literally just fell down this like blue ice crevasse. And didn't matter if you had all the resources in the world, you couldn't get him out. It was just, it was it. He was done.
Okay.
So these shards of sharp, glassy ice that's been there for millions of years, he fell to his death, to where eventually he was probably still alive and just smushed in between two pieces, bleeding out, looking up at miles of ice. And then he died down there. And so we flew up the face of a melting, breaking apart glacier, and then had to get out. And they're like, well, it looks like snow, but there's a lot of spots it could be a crevasse, and you could just fall right into, like that kid. And so, yeah, I was terrified. And we dog sledded around, and then we got back in, and the pilot wanted to do one of those things where he would fly off the side of the glacier, which we're not talking about like a big hill of ice. We're talking about like a mountain of ice. And he would tip the bubble front helicopter forward to where you're looking over the side of a cliff, basically. And there was also turbulence, so it would drop every now and then. And so, yeah, that was terrifying for me. And water was at the bottom. So that's a couple of my fears, but that was mine.
Okay.
Cory?
Well, let me preface this with I was 6, 7 at the time. Mm-hmm. And for some odd reason, I had a very, very illogical fear of any time my parents left me somewhere that I was gone for good. That was it. They were never coming back.
Was it ever like a dead end threat? Like, don't you keep acting up, otherwise we just might not come back.
I'm sure it probably had something to do with my dad joking around with me at some point and making fun of the fact that he is never coming back. But yeah, so I took karate at the time, and I remember like during the class, like I'd look over and my dad would,
Why are you laughing? The notion of doing karate?
Why am I laughing?
Does that amuse you?
Why am I laughing?
Yeah.
Cory's legs don't go higher than a shuffle, so
they used to.
Seeing him high kick
They used to.
You saw when we tried to high kick as adults.
I didn't see it as much as put on a show for everyone.
I mean, I still have a scar, so
yeah.
I'm sorry, Cory. Go ahead.
No, but I'd look out, like if my dad stepped out to have a cigarette out in the street, I would start getting very panicky.
Like anxiety.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, like I would break down in tears. Still doing like the entire lesson, but just crying the entire time. Like, oh, he's gone.
That's it.
Never coming back.
Never gonna have this family again.
Were you ever in a position where it just kind of happened naturally, where like you guys were all in the department store and you decided to fuck around inside one of the racks of clothes, as kids do, and then they missed seeing you like duck off to the side, and then you spent like some amount of minutes thinking that they had left you there?
I can't recall any specific time, but yeah, I know there was a couple times where I was trying to mess around and be funny, and ended up getting separated from my parents because they weren't paying attention at the direct moment, thinking I was just right there with them, and ended up getting lost and not being able to find them for quite some time.
I mean, I certainly know the feeling, like not as intense as yours, but I know on vacation, my dad always did this, and I was very young, obviously. It's not like this past week, but he would always do this thing. So he would take my cousin Derek in as like he was one of the brothers, because he's only 9 months older than me. My brother's 3 years older than me. And my cousin Natalie is 3 years younger, but she was a girl. So the boys, he would always take us on vacation. So we went all over.
So girls could not come on vacation?
She was just too young. She was a homebody. She didn't want to go.
But I don't understand why the fact that she was a girl matters.
Because my dad would say, maybe she doesn't want to go because she wants to be with her mom and she wants to do girl things. Like, it was just the way it was at the time.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. It was her choice.
That's old man justification for like, this is a guy's trip.
No. He welcomed. He would love for her to go, but she never, even to this day, she's never lived away from home, so she's still that way. But my dad would always do this thing. So I was the youngest, and we'd be in all these unfamiliar cities and things like that. And my dad would always do this thing when he was walking. He would put out his pinky finger like that. And
what?
So put your hand out.
Kiss the ring, bitch.
No, because that's what my little hand could hold. Was I couldn't hold his whole hand, but I could hold his pinky. So he would always, when he was walking, put out his pinky finger.
It is so weird that you just held my pinky finger.
So I could grab
I'm
onto
really
it.
upset that we have separate cameras today.
So I could grab onto it.
Yeah.
I'm explaining it to you.
Okay.
So
I'm not.
Bob's a physical learner.
Bob's a
Yeah, I
Bob's a
needed to see
dad.
it.
Bob's a dad. I'm sure he had moments with Jack like that. And so,
no.
Well, yeah, just go ahead, Jack. Get the fuck out of here.
I don't know that he ever grabbed my pinky finger.
Well, that's specific to like a family thing, but I get it that
Because you and Jack are not family.
you never held your son's hand going down the street.
Yeah.
Okay.
He never held my pinky finger. I held his hand.
Okay. Well, different strokes for different folks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And
Hold
so
my pocket, son.
yeah. So I would always do that.
I had the leash. He had the chest collar.
So-
and I just dragged him wherever I went.
So you guys are gonna love this, because we're in this.
That's what happened?
We're in this foreign city, and I'm like looking down. I don't know if it was like at a Game Gear or something like that I was playing, like Sonic the Hedgehog or something. And
What? Hold on.
Not paying attention. I was just not paying attention.
What were you playing?
Sonic the Hedgehog.
On what?
Game Gear.
What's Game Gear? Like
You don't
Game
remember
Boy?
the Sega Game Gears?
Sega Game
I
Gear.
never. My kid never had it. It was like Game Boy, like a handheld.
It was
Yeah, but for
Sega's
Sega.
version, yeah.
Sega's
So
version.
you're old enough to play on a fucking Sega Game Gear piece, but
Do you understand
You're holding your dad's little
that my
finger,
like 3-year-old nephew can navigate an iPad better than my mom?
but can't walk by himself. Must hold a little finger of an.
Hold
of
a
an adult.
hand of a. You're like 3 or 4. Yeah, you're holding the hand of an adult. 5 years old, of course.
All right.
And you're in a foreign city. What kind of parent are you? So anyhow, Jack grew up fast,
Horrible.
apparently. So
Yeah.
So it was the one time that like I went to like put a new game in or something, but as a kid you have like those blinders on and you're not looking up, you're looking down. And so
Which wouldn't happen if you were holding that little finger.
I know. And so I saw like out of my peripheral vision my dad. And so I went up and I grabbed his hand and we were walking for a second and all of a sudden I looked up and it was not my dad. It was some man laughing and I'm holding onto his hand.
His little finger.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's just letting it happen. He's just laughing, you know. And I'm like
He's
panicked.
Like, I've been waiting for this moment all my life.
No, I'm like panicked.
Where's my panel van?
Turning around and looking at everything, and my dad's like 50 yards behind me taking pictures, like laughing also that I am walking with some stranger.
I have so much respect for your dad right
And
now.
I've never-
Your dad's a funny motherfucker. I did not know that.
I've never ran so fast back to my dad.
I hope your dad is listening to this episode because, Mr. Bader, good on you, sir.
He remembers it.
You got Nick good.
He
on
goes,
that one.
oh, it was so cute. He goes, because clearly you had no idea what was going on. He's like, and you just thought it was
and
me.
he didn't know. He didn't set up like
No.
a stranger like, hey, go grab my son's
Nope.
hand.
Nope.
He just saw it happen. He was like, this is hilarious.
I'm going to let this happen. Yes.
That is parenting at its finest.
I was so mad, and I like hit my dad, and I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, apparently I hit my dad too hard.
Wow. Okay.
But, yeah.
Wait. So my question is, and I'm going to make this take as long as it takes for Nick to pick up the camera he just dumped on the floor. Maybe it's a question for Cory. when you're thinking about your parents and you're thinking about the most terrifying thing, how does it translate to how your parents felt about how you felt about that day? right? Like, does your mom know how you what this most terrified you've ever been? Does she know what that is? Would she be surprised to hear it?
No, I'm very sure that she remembers those days.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And Nick, does your dad know that moment that he thought was fucking hilarious was the most terrifying moment in your life?
Oh, my dad prayed, and that wasn't the one I picked, but it reminded me of what Cory said about being in fear for not being around your parents.
Well, okay.
He certainly, my dad would pray on giving me terrifying moments. So he certainly would. He would.
Okay.
We were deathly afraid of unsolved mysteries, and he'd turn every light off in this house that we just moved into because they got divorced, so it's not our home. And he would just play the theme song, dun 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 dun, and we were fucking screaming, and we would have to go upstairs and watch it because the house was pitch black, and we were little. We were very, very little, and so where else were we gonna go? Like read a book downstairs in the pitch black darkness? No, we'd have to go. So he would think it was the funniest thing in the world.
I wish I had a little finger to hold right now.
Yeah,
I'm
I wish.
So scared.
I wish. He was my dad. My dad was an antagonizer. So, dude, I did what I could. I don't know. All right, as funny as that was, we're going to take a second in between the two questions to do a shot for the podcast. If you're unfamiliar with what we do, or perhaps maybe you don't drink alcohol, we do. Go ahead and get some kind of libation of your own choosing, or maybe some water, or it's time to get a coffee. Some lemonade. You're doing the lawn. Maybe you just had sex and you need to pour some water over your head. Do whatever.
Hold on. First of all, if you're doing the lawn,
Yeah.
and you're like me, you want to wait until the lawn is done so that there's a payoff for you. And at the end of the lawn, at the end of the mowing, we'll just call it the mowing.
Yeah.
You deserve a nice, cold, frosty beer. Generally, like a summertime beer, like a shandy is great. Go with your favorite. Don't pull in the fridge and get the shit that somebody left in your house that you're trying to get rid of. Treat yourself right. Now, if it's after sex, you're not going to want to go with water. You're definitely going to want to end up with like a nice scotch, perhaps a little bit of whiskey, or maybe a little bit of wine. Could be white, could be red, up to you. But
I mean, my thought was like, if you lived in the country and you're like, okay, well, I just did the front 20, I got to do the back 40 now. I'm going to have a beer in between. But do you? Absolutely. And just so you're aware, wise words from one of our sage patriarchs of the podcast. Thank you, Bob.
Sage patriarchs.
So what we're doing for the second half, Dr. McGillicuddy's apple pie. If you haven't had it, I don't know how Michigan specific it is. It's probably a Midwest thing. But go out and try yourself some of Dr. McGillicuddy's. Can't stand behind every single one of the flavors, but apple pie is certainly one of our favorites.
Bob picked some winners.
Cheers. So thank you, Mr. Selesky, for purchasing that shot for us.
You got to try all the flavors.
Hey guys, I got this fifth of grape Dr. McGillicuddy's that we've never tried before to take out on the river.
So I will say grape would be the only other one I could do. Talking about the ice one that was like,
I thought grape was disgusting.
the minty,
Really?
the minty, the mint schnapps one, or the
peppermint
peppermint,
schnapps.
the peppermint,
Pepper was
Yeah.
bad.
the
It
red
was bad.
cherry that he got the one time. He got the root beer.
Could do
I
that.
couldn't do any of those. The grape tasted like a melted popsicle in the sun, and this just reminds me of the river. So those are the ones that I can do.
Didn't you get a blackberry? Was it?
I
black?
tried as many as I could find.
Yeah, they were no good. So we're going to move on. Stick with the apple pie. Yeah, Cory.
Hey, there was a jalapeno cheddar bird dog whiskey. That was at
Like, if
Total
it's
Wine
Dr.
today.
McGillicuddy's, you hold your fucking
Really?
tongue. Not
Yeah.
jalapeno cheddar.
Yes.
We
Come on, dude. And you pass that up.
jalapeno cheddar whiskey.
Yes.
How the fuck do you infuse cheddar into that?
I have no idea.
And so that's the crutch that I have, because I'm a savory person, not a sweet. You guys are very sweet people. So like you could go for
Thanks, man.
cookies and cream, and you want like
Yes.
last week which we still have no surprise there.
The
Banana fucking nut pudding or
from
whatever
Lori.
the fuck it was.
Banana pudding, yeah.
Yeah.
From Lori.
It's like-
now hold on. I told her that we drank at least half of that,
We did.
and that
It felt like
wasn't
half.
bad.
Certainly felt like half.
I absolutely loved it.
It was like a
Yeah.
first of all, banana could probably be my least favorite fruit, but I certainly
Sure.
appreciate
Choked it down as a very nice gift that
Lori
it was.
sent it, and it was, if there was any sort of sweet liqueur that I would put at my favorite, I would say that would be very close. But just Word to the wise, it's choking down a banana-flavored eggnog. So that's what you're in for.
Enough said, I think.
Don't lie. We all know you don't choke on bananas.
Oh, no. I emulsify them first and spray them on my face. That's just what happens.
Call that a...
So for the second
pearl necklace
part
is what
of
we call that.
Nick's existential question, so the second part of this installment is going to be, if you ever had to be homeless for 1 year to where you could choose this, where would be the place that you would pick if, in some kind of crazy situation, if you could pick this? Where would you pick to be homeless? Cory, you can't say Oscoda.
Why not?
Because that's your blanket answer for everything. My version of heaven is Oscoda. The place I want to be, if I could go right now, would be Oscoda.
Where would you pick to be homeless?
Yeah, no, you can obviously pick that.
Do I have to pick like underneath a particular bridge?
No.
Or at a certain intersection, begging for change?
Nope. I'm probably general location.
Okay.
If you were to be homeless and they're like, all right, starting today, this is like, we'll say for 1 year, we're taking everything.
For 1 fucking year?
Taking everything. What do you think? People are homeless for like 5 days?
Oh, I see. So I should not be bitching about my pretend 1 year homelessness.
Yeah,
period.
exactly. It's like this is your into the wild.
But I have to be somewhere where, as a homeless person, I could eke out a living, right?
I mean, my mind goes to a warmer climate. I think that's where the snowbird homeless go. That's why in California there's all those tents and they're like tent communities.
Yeah, but the tent communities are full of people who aren't finding work, and they have to live in the tents. So I don't know if that's where I want to go to find work and make my way for 1 year being homeless.
No, but I mean, I give a lot of credit to the Michigan homeless because could you imagine our winters like being out there?
Yeah, no, the snowbird thing, like it's got to be a warmer climate, because if I got to make it a whole year, I can't go through a Michigan winter being homeless.
So
just can't.
I will say, I'll start it off, and I would probably say, I'll generalize it somewhere in the Keys. I feel like it's a relaxed enough environment. There's certainly all kinds of wildlife, fish, seafood that's readily available. So it wouldn't take much instead of spending your money on vodka to be able to buy a cheap fishing rod. You'd be able to feed yourself. There's plenty of beach where no one's going to mess with you. If you know the elements, you can stay away from the creepy crawlies. I don't think there's going to be a high police presence in a lot of the areas, so I don't think you'd get fucked with that much. Where you're not like going under a viaduct or something like that. The scenery is fantastic. You'd have the warmth of the Keys all the time, and I think there'd be a lot of opportunities to potentially find work, on a fish boat or a charter boat or something like that, to where you could reestablish yourself.
Okay.
So I would pick if I had to be specific, like Marathon Key.
Specifically Marathon Key.
Yeah, but the Keys would be fine for me. Yeah.
All right. Wow. You raised a really great question, because if I can be deposited anywhere and start my 1 year term of homelessness, that could be on a desert island anywhere.
Sure.
And being deserted on an island is like being homeless, because you have nothing and you have to live off the land.
Mm-hmm.
And so you might as well just ask me, like, where would you like to be? What desert island would you like to be deposited on?
Yeah, but you can't say, because we've had a lot of desert island questions, so you just can't say a deserted island. Like, I want you to tell me like the dry Tortugas or something.
I have to
something
specific, like longitude, latitude.
No, generalize, not specific. Generalize. I said the
Generalize.
Keys, which is hundreds of miles.
Yeah. Okay. Man, I think if I had to pick, I would go with you could deposit me in Hawaii,
mm-hmm.
and I would find a way to get to the more remote parts of the island and maybe live off the land for as long as I could, and still I think be able to find a workman-like job, eking out a meager wage to support myself for 1 year. I think I could do it.
So would you be able to deal with all the flora and fauna?
Yeah, flora, fauna, yeah.
All the jaguars and things like that lurking around in the jungle?
Any other made-up words you want to give me? Sure, yeah. I'll deal with all of them.
All right. So why for Bob?
Yeah.
Corey, how about you, buddy?
Well, I did have my answer switched from
From Oscoda to the Keys, since I just went there and I now love the Keys. But then Nick took it because he knew I loved the Keys.
No, first off, Siesta Key is it's not part of the actual Keys. So, but I have been to Key West, and I have to agree with everything Nick said. It's you don't have to deal with too much shit of climate, and you're probably going to be pretty good out in the elements for the most part. And I think the one thing that you did kind of miss, though, that it would come into play big, like everyone down there is so cool and just relaxed. Like it's not here where you see a homeless person on the corner coming up to your car to ask for money, and you're like, get the fuck away
Flick
from
my
me.
cigarette butt on him.
Yeah,
everyone looks homeless down there.
Well, basically, yeah. Everyone's just kind of.
I want to go where
Everyone looks
I want to
homeless.
go where the homeless go.
Yeah. So I think it'd be a way different atmosphere to be in that situation down there than what we experience here.
Wasting away in Margaritaville, if you will.
I mean, if I'm going to be homeless, might as well do it there.
If I'm wasting away, why not Margaritaville?
Go hit up the old Salty Dog at a saloon and
Oh, man.
Now, would you take advantage of the hobo network, as they say, the Hobosphere, to really make friends and contacts through the homeless network? Really?
well, you have to. That's the only
Okay.
way to survive. So we have to pass around information about people such as Bob Rankin that berate homeless people and yell at them and flick them off at
Throw donuts at them.
Well,
4 o'clock in the morning.
Don't be that sort of homeless person that really rankles me.
That refuses free donuts.
I tell you,
Exactly.
I tell you about my kid I left under the bridge
Left on the
downtown.
bridge, yeah, you fucking asshole. Yeah, you get what you deserve. I'm getting all upset all over again.
But you think about it, and I feel like, to kind of echo Corey's sentiment, like the Keys are very relaxed, very Jimmy Buffett mindset, and there are so many people that are there on vacation, that are there with money, and
Yeah.
I feel like since it's such a tourist town, you could walk into any one of these open air bars, like a Margaritaville or
And beg for change.
No, and just be like, hey, I'll be a bar back. Can I do that?
But you'd be dressed in like homeless rags. Like they're not going to hire you to dress as you are.
I would spend
Spend what?
I would spend some time, which I have. I would spend some time doing the homeless thing.
Knitting clothes from like tree bark.
No, doing the homeless thing and like picking up cans,
Doing the homeless thing.
picking up cans and begging for money. And instead of like going, I'm going to spend this all on vodka and wake up with sea fleas all over me, I'm going to like buy some linen shorts and a tank top. And then walk in and be like, "Hey man, you guys need a bar back?"
I was just saying the dress code too for a
relaxed.
job interview or even working down there is way different again than what we're used to up here. So, if you got a nice pair of linen shorts and a Hawaiian button-up shirt,
Yep,
I'm
You're
pretty.
shoo-in.
That's the uniform for I'm sure 90% of
Yes.
all the establishments down there. So
Plus, you could just be like, "Oh, dude, I just brought my yacht down here, ran out of money, and I'm just doing something to pass the time until I can fill her back up and go back to Barbados."
I'm retared. This is my dream. I'm not homeless.
Yep.
Yeah. Why can't I pay for that burger? Great question. Are you hiring?
But
Well, you see.
filleting fish for charter companies, like I just think there's a lot of laid back jobs that would be super cool and the environment, and not to mention everywhere you go, there are lime and lemon trees everywhere, as if they were.
But they belong to people.
No,
Like,
they
who
were
don't like you trespassing on their property to steal their fruit.
Bob, I'm telling you, in the Keys, they're like weeds. They're everywhere. They're in like medians. They're
right.
not just like, oh, this is my prize. There's like a 5-foot tall tree with 17 limes on it that's growing in with some weeds.
You know you can't live on limes, right?
No, I know, but it's a start.
All right.
But I did. But you know what lime goes with? All that seafood I'm going to catch with my $6 rod.
You know what? I based on what you said, I may change my answer to the Keys then. Only because I feel like maybe it's a missed opportunity now that there's a hobo network out there. In the Hobosphere, I want to be able to ride the rails.
I already know what the title of this episode is. So
Yeah.
I want to be able to ride the rails
Yeah.
and really enjoy being a vagabond.
I don't think there's many rails going down the Keys, but
You tell me there's no trains that
No.
go into Florida.
dude, they're very.
trains don't go to Florida.
Not to the Keys.
Bob, you can almost the
that's
roads.
fair.
You can almost touch both sides of the water. I mean, that's how
Well, I could
small
get
some of
to,
these.
I could get to, but that leads me to like maybe perhaps I need to go somewhere where I can get, as you mentioned, a fresh start. Lie to some folks about my Phantom yacht, and get some juice to get return some cans and basically eat for a few weeks, and then get my way out onto the rails and just travel the country.
Yeah, you could. I mean, you could certainly do that in a lot of places. I mean, the elements are a little harsher, but you could do that in Juneau, Alaska. You could be a help salmon fisherman and all that stuff.
I feel like maybe the secret to surviving for 1 year is to rely on that network of homeless folks to get work or to just generally survive and not try to go it on my own.
I don't know if that's the strongest network. Because a lot of those, I mean,
feel like
there
it's
probably are a lot
super
of those
strong.
guys.
We have no idea.
There are probably a lot of those guys that are just drinking every night, around a campfire.
Those are your outliers, but you've got your hardcore, your hobo presidents. You've got your
unions.
your hobo unions.
But my idea is
100%.
like with the Keys, is it's first of all, I'm not.
I've got my bindle.
I'm not
over my shoulder, and I'm just going for broke for those rails.
I'm not worried about my 3 months in the sun. Like I'm like, okay, winter's not a problem I'm going to have. So that's number one. Number two is that limes, lemons, oranges, coconuts, things like that are readily available everywhere, dude. I mean, literally everywhere on public land, private land, everywhere. You can get something to eat, and the amount of fish and shrimp and scallops and things like that you can just literally pick right out of the sea. I think food wouldn't be a huge issue as long as you spent $15-20 on a rod. I think you'd be good on the food aspect of it. So you're not freezing to death. You've got some food.
Right.
The rest, you're just going to save a couple bucks to buy some clothes that look decent. You're taking baths and showers right in the nice warm ocean, so you're not going to smell of a homeless person.
Just a little salty.
They smell like seafood all the time.
You know how many free
The entire area smells like seafood. So.
Yeah, you know how many free freshwater showers are at beaches and stuff just around there that you could just go in if you needed a freshwater shower?
I feel pretty strongly that they frown on homeless people taking showers in those
They
showers.
don't know if you're
No, they
homeless.
totally know. You're on a beach surrounded by people who are on vacation.
You just hide your bindle.
I'm telling you right now,
true.
the beach that you're thinking of is not the beach in the Keys.
Okay.
Every mile of every road is beach in the Keys. So there are so many miles of beach that are not like beaches as we know it, where people have towels down and things like. These are just empty beaches, just going on and on and on. And you can go out for some of these for 2 miles and still be knee deep. So, and I know from experience of going into the Keys that, a couple of kids and one parent, we caught some lobsters and we cooked them up on the grill, and it might have been on a season, but but regardless, we ate good for little to no money.
Fair enough.
So that's my only mindset.
All right. Well, this seems like a great time, especially while Cory's in the bathroom, to jump into TT's TikToks.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
We'll see how long it takes when he comes back from the bathroom. Luckily, Todd gave us a 2-minute song.
Oh my God.
Are you ready?
I hope it's number 1 and not number 2. I may have to play the song again.
He's like, yeah, I shifted the camera. They can talk amongst themselves.
Yeah. Oh, they got it.
Never thought he would start my own segment while I went to the bathroom, but I don't know what's more haunting, this music or you like evil man laughing in the background.
All right. TT's TikToks brought to you by Cory Selesky.
Also known as the Tawas tortoise.
All right, what do you got for us tonight, Cory?
I got 3 that I've had in the hopper for a little bit now for you guys.
Okay. You want to set this up, or is it self-explanatory?
No,
For the folks on the audio version, are they going to be confused?
maybe.
Okay, let's set it up for them.
So there's a guy standing on some stairs talking to someone, and his buddy decides to be funny.
Okay.
How did he just rip his pants in half?
He grabbed the pockets,
And
the back pockets of the ass pockets.
Apparently, it's much easier to do than any of us imagine, because this was like one of the best ones, like most genuine reaction I've seen to that. But a lot of people have gone up to their friends and just grabbed the back pockets and pulled down as hard as they could.
And instead of the pockets coming off, the whole backside of the
whole
pants.
backside of the pants come off.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, it seems like you could do a very easy search on TikTok, folks, to come up with one of the videos that meets those qualifications. So what do we got here next?
Oh, easily.
I love when he's so excited. He's like, "Oh, I remember what this one is."
Oh, this is that guy again, isn't it?
No, I
right,
should.
and again,
hang on. I should have put this one back a little bit for you guys.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So again, for the audio only listeners,
A okay looking female, blonde female, is washing a car,
yeah.
and
Not attracted to that female?
she starts taking her pants down.
Hey, what you watching? Oh.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. That just makes me mad. Jesus ruined that TikTok for me.
So,
Jump
yes.
it in there.
Scantily clad woman at a self-serve car wash.
Don't
and
judge me, Jesus.
She goes to take her shorts off, and she's in a bikini, and a man dressed as
Well,
Jesus
we
says,
think she was. We never really got to see.
Oh, I can see it.
All right.
And a man dressed as Jesus said, "Hey there, what are you watching?"
Yeah.
So this one, I think we all had this kid in one of our classes.
Hold on. This is TikTok at Trevor Wallace. Title is "The Kid Who Never Brought a Backpack to Class."
I got this shit at the book fair. Yeah, you fuck with the book fair?
Do I fuck with the book fair?
Shit hit different.
You know you're a failure, right?
So, Mason, we're just working on worksheet A. So let me know if you have any questions, okay?
Wait, what about workshop C?
Workshop C?
Workshop C, these nuts.
Mason, you are going to make me do cocaine again. Okay, and I am 5 years sober. How do you feel about that?
Think I should get that shit yadded?
All right, let's grab a loose leaf piece of paper, please.
Say less.
Oh, no, not that kind of paper, Mason. We can put our $2 bills away. All right, you're gonna kill it at AutoZone, and I know that.
I don't know how any of this shit is gonna help me in the future. Geometry? I don't give a shit about plants.
Just 4 more hours.
Sheesh. Damn, now I see why they call it high school. Hit this.
4 more hours. Is that a lighter?
Huh?
No lighters in class.
Oh, we writing letters? Yeah, all right. I'll write you a letter.
Mason, I mean this in the most disrespectful way. You physically embody a Toyota Camry.
I feel like that low-key looks like me.
Please stop talking. Just take the pop quiz. Do you have a question, Mason?
How do you pronounce this word? Do you happen to suck undies?
What suck on you?
Suck on these nuts!
Go to the office!
Fuck.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. Let me just get on my shit real quick.
Mason, it's February. Why don't you have a backpack?
Honestly, I'm sorry, teacher. This is not who I really am. That's my bad. I was up late last night listening to Imagine Dragons.
Imagine Dragons?
Oh wait, I love Imagine Dragons.
Imagine dragging these nuts across your face.
Oh, no.
I don't want your nuts!
My bad.
So there you go.
Oh, something tells me that Lori would look upon that TikTok with a bit of a different reaction than we had.
Probably.
I think
it might,
as
might
a
be a little
teacher.
too close to home.
Pretty close to home. Exactly.
I think there'd be a story lined up after that.
Probably. One that might get me through a 6-hour drive to the UP.
Oh my God, let me tell you, last week I was starting to teach ancient history, and this kid came in with no backpack, and then that would go.
Yeah.
And I do cast a lot of stones, Lori. We do love you, but it's true to my heart because I would do the same thing.
All right. This is going to be a bit of an abbreviated segment, but let's get into gentleman's agreement.
Oh, it's the MF and gentleman's agreement. Oh, done.
Okay, so
Oh, it was just in case, people missed the Todd laugh. That was the Todd laugh.
Okay. So last segment that we visited this assignment, both Cory and I were assigned Hannah, the series, from Todd and from Nick.
Yes.
On Amazon Prime. So if you're interested, that's where you can find it. So, Cory, which one of us would like to go first? First of all, how many episodes did you watch?
I think I ended at 6 or 7.
All right. I only watched the first 2. Now, but I can also claim to have watched the movie on which the series was based.
Yeah, I've definitely not seen the movie.
And therefore, I stopped at 2 because I'm like, I already know how this ends. Different actors, bit of a different timeline because it's a series and not a movie. But I'm like, I already know how this is going to go. I don't see myself coming back to it. I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm saying like I already knew the story. That being said, the first 2 episodes that I saw were really good. Do you remember, Nick, the name of the actor who had the lead?
No. The guy from Germany or the Netherlands or wherever.
Also in the same...
the Murders or whatever it's called, yeah.
Joel Kinnaman.
Okay, yeah.
And Muriel Enos played the two leads, and it was Joel Kinnaman's daughter who plays Hannah in the series.
Oh, that was his actual daughter?
No, played his daughter.
Oh, Jesus!
in the series. So,
the killing it was.
The killing. Thank you. I will refer back. I'll defer to you, Cory, on the rest because I was highly entertained, but it was really hard to. I had already seen it.
You have a complete different perspective than what I do, obviously, with having seen the movie.
Yeah.
Dude, the first 30 minutes, I was like, what has Nick done?
Okay.
I'm like, I'm at the point of just turning this off, and I couldn't do it. Her and her dad are out in the woods living like barbarians, off the land and off the grid, and it didn't give really much of an insight of why that was occurring or what was going on with that. So without, I guess, that kind of background or preface to it, I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be really stupid. Just dad and daughter for some reason that are, I also didn't realize it was set in kind of present day as well.
It was out of context.
Yeah. So yeah, the first 30 minutes, I was really MFing you.
I was confused too. I was like, okay, this is going to be short lived.
It picked up a little. There's definitely some good action, and some more of the story starts coming together, and so that pulled me back in. But I will. The one issue I have with this series is it would draw me back in, but then they would leave that for so long that I kind of fell away from it again. I'm like, oh, okay, it's not holding my attention again.
Mm-hmm.
And not that I wanted this action-packed, TV series that everything's a fighting scene and all, but the girl that plays Hannah, whether it's her or even stunt doubles, they did such a great job with the fight scenes that they did have and the CGI and the graphics that they did do. I wanted to see more of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Again, it didn't have to be fully packed with that, but it was so well done that I'm like, you could have thrown way more of it in the first 6 episodes that I saw.
Right.
And I think like come episode 3, like near the end of episode 3, like stuff really fell off. Like there was, it just turned into pure storyline of going into background and details of her and her dad's relationship. And I'm like, again, like this is now it's too slow moving now.
Yeah.
And on top of that, they also start jumping around a lot too.
They did.
From present day to past A, and so if you're not fully watching and committed to it, that's really going to throw you off as well. You're not going to be able to grasp the entire storyline if you miss certain little key aspects. All in all, it's a good series from what I saw. Not going to rave about it and say it was the greatest thing ever. And if there's nothing else to watch, I'll go back and not saying that in a bad way or as a put down to the series, but it's not like my go to like, oh yeah, that it was that amazing.
Right.
Again, I think they really missed out on the action scenes and the character that the girl that plays Hannah. The action scenes that I did see were fantastic, and everything was so well shot. They should have put a lot more of that in there.
I think I'm right there with you because I want to say I'm probably around the same area that you are, like probably season or episode 7 or something like that. But I did have the highs and lows, and it was interesting. I was a little bit more vested in it, so I could kind of keep track a little bit more. But I get it. Like I haven't been coming home every night being like, God, I needed to see the next episode.
Right. So, and like to make a comparison, like to me, like Oak Island or The Curse of Oak Island, that was something every Wednesday I was like, cannot wait to get home and see the brand new episode. I say, yeah, this on the other, like, I'm like, I'd like to finish it and see how everything plays out, but it's not going to be a priority.
I get it.
So, solid pick though. I say, and I know there's huge fans, of people of that genre and that kind of storytelling. It is a good series and well put together, and like I said, well shot and well edited. So I would definitely check it out. I liked
all the quick action, like the arm bars and the flips and stuff like that. And I think they did that really well, especially since she was like a younger girl. Flipping these older men over her shoulder and doing all that shit, whatever, And like
I said, whether it was her character or whatever stunt double they had do it, it was very well shot.
Believable.
Yeah.
All right. I there's not much more I can add to that, but I wonder if you might have been better served if you had watched the 2-hour movie of the movie version of it instead of the series. If you're saying that it jumped around a lot and it dragged, I don't know.
But he may also be in the same boat now that you're in, where he's like, I know the premise and I could not get on board with now watching a movie.
Maybe. And Joel Kinnaman's a great actor, and the two of them, the agent who has been hunting him and his daughter down, as you said, they were co-leads in the killing, and they have really good chemistry and they respect each other's work quite a bit, so they work well together. It was definitely I definitely really liked what I saw. I just sadly already know how it ends.
Yeah.
And I'm not curious enough to see if it ends any differently to continue to watch it over how many seasons have they gone?
I have no idea. I feel the same way. I wouldn't want to double dip.
Yeah. So, all right. Let's do new assignments, and this is just going to be you and me, Cory, giving each other the business, as they say.
Wow.
So, I guess start if you want.
Yes, please.
Have you seen George Carlin's American Dream?
No.
All right. You have HBO Max?
Yes.
All right. That's where you could find it. And my assignment is done now.
Oh, man. There's been a couple I've seen over this past week that I know. For you, Bob, I'm going to give you Web of Make-Believe, Death, Lies, and the Internet. Just kidding. Scratch all that. Forget I just said that.
What?
You have Spiderhead, sir.
Oh, with Hemsworth?
Hemsworth and Miles
Teller?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Is that, where is that? Netflix?
The newest one that came out, yeah.
Okay. I got it. It may be 2 weeks before I come back to the podcast and give a review.
That's fine. I wanted to hop on that because it's, like I say, I know it's the newest thing out on Netflix. And Danielle and I were actually able to watch it last night. So we got in at the ground floor.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get that out of the way before anyone else stole that from me. So
same thing with George Carlin. Like, that's probably the newest thing on my list for you. And I actually, I assume that you might have already caught it.
No, I have not.
I can't recommend highly enough. And you know me, I'm a huge George Carlin fan, and there was a ton of shit there that I did not know.
Sweet.
So, okay. What can we do now here? We can end off with Pick of the Week. I wish I had a song for this.
So there's no.
That's Todd Dillon. Gonna have to get on about that.
Oh,
All right.
Todd.
So, Pick of the Week, if you're new to the podcast, this is generally where we recommend either a movie, TV, or restaurant, place, event, something that we've experienced that we want to recommend to everybody else. We are all local to the Detroit, Michigan area in the U.S. However, a lot of the things we recommend can be found online. So you may hear something that intrigues you, but definitely go look it up. We are not sponsored by any of these things, any of these companies. For those companies that we do mention in Pick of the Week, please reach out to us, and we will deeply consider your offer for sponsorship.
We'll take it under advisement.
Yeah.
Or just jump at that first offer.
So, anybody want to go first?
I can go.
Okay.
Well, all right.
Why not? So for this week's Pick of the Week, I'm going to go with a specific type of Cutwater's margarita, which is the Cutwater canned strawberry margarita for this week's Pick of the Week. I think I gave a broad review of like a lime margarita of theirs, which was pretty good. I've had maybe I did, maybe I didn't, but I've had the strawberry. It's fantastic. They've got all kinds of awards for best canned, ready-to-serve margarita. They use all natural ingredients, real tequila, no fillers, no carbonation, nothing like that. They make a million different things, from Bloody Marys to spicy Bloody Marys to Palomas to everything you can think of. And their strawberry margarita is fantastic. I don't think I've gone anywhere else and really ordered strawberry margaritas, but it was just a stab in the dark because I like their lime margarita. It's 10.5 ABV per can, so it's got a little kick to it, but just really nice taste. Agave tequila. You can get 4 cans for, I think, $11.99. If you want bang for your buck, go with the lime, 14.5% ABV. Goes down just like refreshing ice cold lime water, and 14.5 is nothing to shake a stick at if you're thinking that these beers that we're doing right now, like at least the one I'm drinking, is probably 4%. Okay. So 3 beers per can, if you put that into perspective of $11.99 for both different kinds. If those are not your thing, margaritas aren't your thing, certainly go into search Cutwater Spirits. They make all their own vodka, gin, rum, tequila, and then they turn them into ready-to-serve cocktails. And they're hard to find around here, but if you do, they're fantastic. If you're anywhere local, Total Wine and More, not only can you pick them up there consistently, they're never usually out. They have a high selection, but they also do Instacart, which is phenomenal. So if you have an Instacart account, it's a great little night at home. Cutwater Spirits.
All right. Cory?
My pick for this week is going
is Schuler's cough medicine.
Ricola.
So all my life I've been a watch guy. I kind of plateaued once I found the Apple Watch, and I thought that was the end all be all for my watch searching. But something kind of clicked in me. I'm like, you know what? Time to get back out in the watch game. and was on Amazon one day looking at some other different watches to replace my Apple Watch. And I came across something that I've always wanted a Rolex. That's one of my lifelong goals and dreams is to own one and have one.
You're not going to fucking review a Rolex right now.
And for the wedding, I was like, that would be awesome if I had a Rolex for it, but I know I can't afford that. So on Amazon, I happened to come across a bunch of different companies that make Rolex lookalikes that actually they're not knockoffs. They pay homage to the Rolex, and they're made in that same style and fashion. And Invicta was the one I came across that I decided to purchase. A little skeptical at first because I'm like, oh, you're talking the difference between a $16,000 watch and a $75 watch. So I was like, I wasn't expecting much out of it.
Yep.
And I've had different ones in the past that you get them. They're chintzy. The band's, more plasticky than it is metal. Everything kind of jingles on it and wriggles, and it's not a jingle jangles.
Yep.
And it's not a tight put together package of a watch.
Okay.
Invicta though, it's an actual automatic watch. Dude, I took this thing out of the box, and I mean it has heft to it. It's got weight. The band is solid as can be. And I sized it up and everything myself and put it on. And dude, when I'm wearing that watch, I'm like, this feels nice. Like
Okay.
I'm like, I have a very expensive watch on right now. That's the feeling it gives you. I know it's not in the back of my head. So even better, because I know if something happens to it, I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, the feeling of it, everything's there. So for the first time in my life, out of all the watches I've owned in the past, and I'm
you got
talking
a Rolex feel
hundreds of
without spending
watches.
Rolex money.
I have the Rolex feel without spending the Rolex money.
All right.
And I did actually get a couple comments at the wedding that people go, "Oh man, you busted out the Rolly for today, huh?" And I was like, "Oh,
Rolly."
I'm like, got you." So
Really?
that's how close it looks to. And again, I'm a huge watch guy. I've seen people wearing Rolexes out and about from a distance. I'm like, that's a Rolex.
Okay.
And you know. So yeah, with this, like I said, I got the feeling and the look of it. In actuality, I might just do the smart thing now and say that this is my Rolex in life, and not
I think you should
not have to spend that $16,000 on a real one.
I can think of other things you could spend $16,000 on.
So anyone looking for a solid watch, a classy, timeless timepiece.
Okay.
Don't want to spend the $16,000. Spend the $75,000 on an Invicta on Amazon.
Right. Awesome pick, man. I can't think of a better pick that you can make for the audience than giving them a $75 alternative to a Rolex. With your personal Cory Slesky stamp of approval.
Yes.
Wow.
And Nick has just poured us a shot here. So before we go into the last pick of the week, please join us again in this, or perhaps for the first time if you've stretched listening to this podcast on over several days. Now you're into day 2. You've decided to pick it up again, and now you've, let's say, just finished a vigorous round of sex with your partner, and you're looking for something to do. Hey, Schnozzcast is out there, and we're doing a shot.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Woo.
All right.
Well, I love how nobody challenged me on the vigorous round of sex with your partner.
Well, it's day 2.
That's true. You can't have. You gotta space that shit out.
I mean, it's better than feverish masturbation.
Is
it?
Potentially.
Is it?
Potentially. Yeah, or is it? Okay, my pick of the week is C's famous old-time candies. So for a little bit of background here, I was reading an article about Warren Buffett, who has invested in, he's made quite a bit of money off the stock market. He's invested in companies like Apple and Coca-Cola. But somebody asked him in this article, the gist of the article was all about what's the best investment you've ever made. And he said, hands down, no contest. It's a California candy company, a chocolate maker called Sees. That's SEES, or S, I guess to be specific, SEE''S. Sees famous old time candies. California-based company he bought in 1972, and the attraction of this company for Warren Buffett was that they started out as a small company. They had, by the time it came to 1972 when he purchased the company, they had a staggeringly high level of brand loyalty where they would routinely sell to the same customers over and over and over and over again. And they refused to expand their business beyond their capabilities and decided to stay small with a controlled small growth over the years and maintain the same quality in their products. And they have given Warren Buffett a return of 8,000% on his purchase of that company in 1972. And he said, hands down, that's the best purchase I've ever made.
Wow.
So after having read this article, and you fellas know I've got a bit of a sweet tooth, I decided to buy a box of C's famous old time candies. And so about a 1 pound box, there's a sorted box of candy. And I must say, in packaging, in choice of selection, and in the overall quality of the chocolate I got, I don't think that I've ever had candy like that from a assorted box of candy that was better than what I got from C's. It was pretty goddamn amazing. Now, it is not inexpensive. I believe with shipping, it cost me $45 to buy a 1 pound box of candy.
God damn.
But if you are looking for something to give to your mother for Mother's Day or to give to your girlfriend for your anniversary or something like that, you're willing to pay for the best of what you get. So if you're looking for if your significant other or the recipient of this gift on a particular event has a sweet tooth, you can't go wrong. Probably the best you can get, in my opinion, is C's famous old time candies.
I give it a solid C.
And you can find them out on the internet at if you're interested at C's, that's SEES.com, and see what you. So I would
see what you see.
I would definitely give them a try if you happen to have $45 to spend. Now they do have different types of boxes. You could put together different types of mixes. You could also look for particular types of confectionery. But in my mind, I wanted, if I'm going to do, let's say, only one box, let's say I don't ever do it again, I'm like, I want to get the assortment where I get to pick, and you get to pick each of the different candies that are in the box.
So what'd you pick?
I mean, I'd have to pull up the receipt for
exactly. Oh, come on, Bob.
I'm happy to share it. You know what? If you're interested in what I picked in my box, send us an email to schnozzcast@gmail.com, or you can text us at 618-CHOCKER. I would be happy to share it with anyone who is listening. And let's assume that there were thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people who are listening who would like to hear what I ordered. Tune in to find out, because I will let you know if you ask, send a request, and I will definitely share it with you.
Bob will do the Todd Dillon, and if you guess correctly, he'll send you a box of that flavor.
Fuck no, I will not. That will not happen. At
and then Bob will be homeless in Key West.
Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, that'll be the start of my homeless stint. My reign over the Hobosphere. That's it for Schnozzcast for the week. On behalf of Cory and Nick and the unfortunately absent Todd Dillon, this is Bob saying we'll see you next weekend.